Hello, friends. Gracious me, has
Hola.
it already been 2 weeks? Dustin, how you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. How about you?
Yeah. I'm tired. I'm grumpy. I am snowed in. My back hurts. Been
Yeah, this
shoveling
morning was
snow all night.
all about shoveling.
Uh, but aside from what's happening with real life, folks, welcome to a new chronicle. Taking place in the same continuity as Tooth and Claw, there will be crossover. There will be consequences. There will be weirdness aplenty. But this is not the story of William Raveloe. This is not the story of Artemis Pendergast, at least not exactly. This is the story of Agent Darien LaFontaine.
Hello to you.
Her. You may recall Darien from the first episode of Artemis of the Legend of Artemis. As an FBI agent, he was part of the mysterious events that happened during the Katrina hurricane in New Orleans. And after Artemis's events, she had reason to tell him that she couldn't see him anymore for a while. Darien took it like a champ, at least as far as Artemis's story goes. But for those of you who've been keeping up and have seen the trailer, you know that Darien has been recruited by a mysterious new organization. On the inside, they're just calling it the agency. Easier that way. For those of you who know the setting, you know that Task Force VALKYRIE is something much more complicated. So, do we want to talk just a little bit about your character before we get started, Dustin, or shall we just launch them right into it?
Personally, I prefer to launch right into it.
All right, then. Let's see. Because my computer did a hard reset, and we are nothing if not unprofessional. Here we go. All right. So, here's the question. After Artemis left, did you stay in the Airbnb the two of you had been sharing, or could you bear to stay there?
I needed a place to lay down my hat, and the Airbnb was it.
All right. The days go by. Not many of them. It's difficult when you touch something and the impressions come to you of stolen kisses, laughter. You stop sleeping in the bed after a while. It's difficult to revisit happy memories knowing that they are already gone. It wasn't exactly a breakup, but it sure feels like one. The heartbreak is real. The heartbreak is similar. You've taken to sleeping in the lounger down in the living room. Seattle is less interesting now. So, how do you numb the dreams? How do you numb the pain? Or do you numb it at all?
I believe a good glass of bourbon would assuage some of these feelings and some of these memories that keep coming back.
You find that the bourbon does not take away the pain, but it does take away the reminders. Maybe that buys you time. It also seems to scramble some of your abilities. Not a lot, but enough to numb you, enough
Yeah.
to shuffle you up a little. So when your phone buzzes and you wake up from a nap, yet another, there's a certain sense of relief and anticipation. Of course, there is the question, is it Artemis? but the caller ID does not say it is. Unknown. Do you pick it up?
Do I recognize this number?
Unknown.
Unknown. Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I will answer the call.
Flip.
Oh, there.
A voice warper. Check your mail. Click.
Very suspicious. Well, I am on my feet. Now, were they referring to my mail or my email?
Well, probably your mail.
Mail. Okay. Never hurts to ask.
It's
Don't
true.
want to get up and walk outside for no reason. So I'm on my feet and going to check my mail.
All right. You open the door, and a small brown box is sitting in front of your door. Cardboard, taped. There are labels on it, but the labels, it doesn't look like it's actually been shipped anywhere.
Okay. Anyone about that I might
Nope.
just clear?
Mm.
Kind of what I figured. Well, I'm taking that box, bring it inside, find myself some manner of sharp tool to open it.
All right. Slice it open. Open it up. Inside, you can see that there is a a 6R P229 pistol, several magazines of ammunition, and a phone.
Pick up the phone first.
You pick it up, look at it. It is somewhat more sophisticated than you're used to. Like, it's a BlackBerry, but it's a nice BlackBerry.
Fancy.
Oh, hello.
I don't imagine there's caller ID on this call either.
Uh, no,
No, I did not think so.
but it doesn't say unknown either.
What does it say upon the screen?
Incoming call.
Incoming. Oh, that's all. All right then.
That's it.
Okay. Answer the call.
Hello again, LaFontaine.
Who is this?
We had our nice little meeting just a few days ago. I suppose you might be a little foggy on it, considering all the bourbon.
Very astute. What can I do for you?
You said you wanted to get back to work.
And that I do.
Well, you have exactly enough time to drink some water and take a shower. Because something has just come up and we need you down in Portland.
What manner of something?
Potential ENE sighting.
Interesting.
I think you would call it a werewolf.
I'm on my way.
Good. All the pertinent information is going to show up in this phone. Also, be careful with that gun. Technically, you're licensed to have it, but the ammunition is non traditional, shall we say.
All right. Now, I've ended the call.
Mm.
I want to take a look at this ammunition, see if there's anything I can identify upon it.
All right, so um, the ammunition itself is not. I mean, at an external glance, you can see that it's got a sort of uh, black and white swirl pattern in the alloy.
Mhm.
You know enough about weapons and weaponry, like you were top of your class at Quantico. Um, It looks like the actual alloy of the bullet itself, not the shell casing. The shell casing is just brass. Who gives a
Shell
shit?
casing. Yeah.
But if you want to disassemble a round, which will take some time, you note that the tip of it appears to have multiple alloys worked into it in an almost umbrella pattern. You see steel, silver, copper, gold. And do you take the time to disassemble one round?
Not disassemble. I feel like that would be a little exorbitant according to my time. I feel like I
um,
should probably.
it's
I
it's
feel
prob
as if I could tell there's something different about it just by looking at the chip of the casing. Well, not the casing
it's
itself.
a weird round.
Yes, it's not.
This
It's not your
is
average round, and I can
yeah.
assume that there was, given the werewolf, that there is probably some silver involved.
um, I do want to say anytime that you want to use your special abilities, you just let me know.
Right.
It probably will work in your favor. It might not.
Sort of a coin flip.
The
Right.
coin's in your favor, but there's a risk here.
Okay. For this one, I'm going to pass. So I get one, right? I get one
No,
per.
you can do it.
Oh, well, fantastic.
It might cost a willpower point every now and again, and you have a limited number of those unless you live up to your virtue and your vice, your ambition and your whatever.
Living
Um,
up to my potential.
yeah. Uh, because you're new to this game, this gets to be a little bit of a walkthrough for the folks who've never played Chronicles. Your virtue is something that is harder to do but represents a real like chance for you to live up to what you think is best in yourself and the world. Your vice is much easier to do, and it involves shirking your responsibilities or putting others at unnecessary risk for the sake of humoring your personal ambitions and gain. So, but that's probably not going to come up much in the first session. Just something to bear in mind going forward.
Right.
Um, but humoring these things gives you more willpower because it feels good to be all you can be. And it also feels good to do what you want to do. All right. So, would you like to give it a shot?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's roll the dice.
Your fingers trace over the shell casing. Your training at Vascu, along with the sudden unpleasant memories of the wintergreen treatment. There's a flutter and a flurry of images as your eyes pull back. It's interrupted. It's chaotic. Usually you get a few flowing moments with a couple of staccato bursts of chaos, but this is a series of flashes that are hard to hold on to. That being said, you see people in a lab putting these bullets together one by one. Like these are handmade. You can see the people in the clean suits pressing them in the mold. But you also see an arrangement of separate compounds that have been put into it. Like every one of these bullets has a lot of trace amounts of stuff in it. You get the tiniest glimpse of the labels on some of these vials: jade, silver, garlic, wood, uh, a litany of stuff. With your intelligence plus your occult, which is better than most, given the things you have investigated. You recognize a lot of these things as the kind of allergens that supernatural creatures tend to have.
Hmm. It's like a supernatural killer.
I'm reminded of Hellboy. It's my own personal mix: garlic, holy water, saint's fingerbone. So yeah, these rounds appear to be filled with a mixture of everything that supernaturals tend to be allergic to. How effective it is, I mean, you haven't seen it.
There's the one way to find out.
Well, you've got 3 clips worth of ammo for this thing. The handgun itself is a compact black piece of plastic and metal in your hand. It's a good weight. If you've ever seen the 220, it's a fine gun.
Very fine weapon.
It's chunky. It's modern. All right. So, you still have time to grab a shower and get in your car.
That is the plan.
All right. That
Get
wakes
ready
you
to
up a bit.
go. Bring
You
the gun.
smell you smell
All
less like booze.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, okay.
It's like I might be homeless and, prepare.
Rumpled, but you have a badge.
Absolutely.
All right. So, as you drive, you do what you shouldn't and check your phone as you're going. It's not a terribly long drive from Seattle to Port. But it is the middle of the night. According to the files, and what little it is, this is a fast response investigation. This is the first preliminary observation. Some kind of sort of outbreak of minor psychosis and delusion took place across a highway in between a residential area and Multnomah Falls. Most people think that they saw a really big wolf, a really large dog, or a lion or something, a bunch of them just crossing the road. There were a few traffic accidents, no fatalities, but uh, it was enough of something to raise the local offices. What the hell just happened? Being that you're in the area, for some reason, you've been assigned to it instead of the local agencies. Your job is to find out what exactly you're dealing with. Your orders are not to engage, but if they engage you, you can do whatever you need to do. You compile an intel report, figure out what is here, report it back to local. If it's something big and dangerous, they will send a team to sweep and kill. If it is not something dangerous, they'll keep an eye on it. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, you've got a few leads here. Given that it was allegedly some animals that caused this problem, you could check in with local offices, local authorities, animal control, police department. Um, you could uh you could also just go to the scene of the crime where it allegedly started.
I believe my first step would be to speak with the first responders on the scene, see what they know, what they have heard, maybe get some witnesses ID'd.
Um, it like I said, it only takes a few hours to get there. Which means that there are still a few first responders still on the scene, but not many. Like the people in question have been taken away, the cars are being moved. In fact, you show up in time for the last couple of police cars to be removing roadblocks.
Well, I would like to question the officers and maybe see what they have heard, what they know, maybe get their own personal account
All right.
of what has transpired.
The cruisers have turned their lights off at this point. You can see them loading stuff in the truck as you approach. Guy turns around. Help you, sir?
Yes, hello, I am Agent Darien LaFontaine. I have a few questions about what happened here.
Agent?
Yes, sir.
Do you flip him your FBI badge?
Absolutely, I do.
Huh. I didn't know wild animals counted as FBI material.
This is a special case, son. Now, if you would answer a few questions of mine, I would be delighted.
Fire away.
All right. Now, were either of you here when everything first transpired?
No, there were no officers on scene at the time. It was purely a civilian situation. Something or some things crossed the road. That's people had a sudden panic.
Did you speak to any of these witnesses?
45 minutes.
45.
45. Welcome to the show. All right.
Kevin 45.
45. That's there it is. The meme happened on its own. You've got something or some things crossed the street and caused a small pile up. Nothing but a couple of whiplashes.
Now, did you speak to any of the witnesses?
Yeah, I'll admit that was weird. Couple of them were having couple of them seemed, I don't want to say unhinged, agent, but more upset than you'd think. As to what they saw, a couple people thought that they saw like a lions crossing the street. Obviously, they're not too well.
A lion.
Well, we ran them through a DUI.
Yeah.
Uh, aside from that, probably just large dogs, maybe even wolves.
Very.
I am going to give you an intelligence plus academics roll. Did you know that wolves are almost completely extinct from this region?
I was not aware of that.
Oregon has almost no wolf population.
Really. Let alone giant wolves.
Well, nobody said they were giant, agent. But, I mean, maybe they escaped from the zoo, or it's like that rare surviving wolf. But look, nobody was seriously injured. I mean, it was just chance that it all came out like this. It's not like we'll be expecting this to happen again. We'll have our eye open for any kind of large canine or mountain lion or whatever it is, but it's there's not much we can do to follow up on this, agent. Just bad luck. Unless another sighting takes place, you know, we'll let animal control know.
If I look around, can I see if there are prints anywhere?
There's no prints. I mean, it's a road. It's not muddy.
Was a road, but is there off to the side tree lines of some such?
No, it's buildings on either side. You're still in a fairly urban area. Um, they were seen going in the direction of Multnomah Falls, which is a large park with some very beautiful uh, mountain outcropping, and the famous waterfalls. Big nature walk area. They were coming from an area not too far away, like a few residential blocks, and but the earliest report of some kind of violence that coincides with the time, you have the address for that.
Well, I believe that my next stop will be going towards the falls. At this point, I'm more interested in where they're going than where they are coming from, because that place will still be there when I'm done.
Maybe. But I should point out, starting at the beginning might give you a better idea of what you're dealing with before you get to it.
Fair enough. Then let's head that way.
Okay. Heading back into that area, you can see that there's a few businesses, but they're all closed. The only thing that is still open around this time is a late night club called Fria Diabla.
What was the name of that club?
Fria Diabla,
Freya. Diabla, I understand. Freya,
cold devil lady.
Devil Lady. That sounds about right.
The thump of music is coming out of it, and that's it. It looks like a well insulated thing. It's sort of like a storefront almost that's been completely blacked out in the windows. There is a doorman. There is a neon sign. Uh, it's got sort of a blue and red mixture and a pair of horns coming off of what might be a surrounding halo. It looks like there's an apartment above it, or maybe offices or something. On either side, it's like one of them's a warehouse and one of them is a closed barber shop. There is an alleyway to the right, which would let you go around to the back of the building. There are residentials around most of the other area. You're in a small, kind of cozy, low urban spot. You know, for the Chicago analog, think Andersonville or Lincoln Park. The building is modern, you know, white, sort of like white brick and marble, very smooth, very mod, very monochromatic, white and black. What's the move?
I step in. Well, I go to the door, assuming it is open. Go
You
to
step
enter.
up, the doorman, or maybe he's a bouncer. He's wearing like the black shirt, blazer, slacks combo. Very tall gentleman, big muscles. He's got about like the top of your head meets the bottom of his chin. Looks down at you. Help you, sir.
Good day. Mind if I go in there?
What's the password?
Password is FBI.
Yeah. Go on in.
Thank you. It's on through, head inside.
Stepping inside, it is wow. You've been in a nightclub or two. This one's a little weird. Not because there's some kind of like show going on or ravers or anything like that. It's small and there aren't a lot of people here. The central area is a dance floor with lasers going back and forth all over the place, fog. Lining on the left and the right are what appear to be curtained off booths, kind of like a restaurant. Um, there doesn't seem to be a live DJ. There is a bar at the back, a door just to the right of the bar. The door in the flashing lights is at least a little damaged, which kind of offsets the extremely clear, crisp, modern look of this place. It is all shiny black things in here and velvety red curtains. There's an elevator just to the right of the back door and like along the wall. And on the other side of the bar, there is a stairway going down, and neon lights above it say VIP. There's another bouncer over by that door. At the bar, you can see there is a lady wearing a baggy tank top with big teased hair and tattoos. She is working the bar. Sitting at the bar is a gentleman with a fake tan, slicked back hair, a build that either suggests great fitness, great genes, or a great supplier of various drugs that would give you muscles. And one of those loose button down shirts with all the weird patterns and crap on it. Very Jersey Shore meets money. Sees you come in, you see him nod to you and raise a glass.
Would I be correct in my assumption that this fellow is sort of a higher up at this establishment?
It's an assumption, no way to confirm it without talking to him, but he does look like he owns the place, if only in attitude.
The hunch is what I'm going off of.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I approached the gentleman. Hello there.
As you approach, you note the smells of the place perfumes, cologne, which largely mask the scent of sex and sweat, mixed with the typical mop water in a futile attempt to banish the lingering funk of spilled alcohol and energy drinks. You get closer to him at the bar. How's it going?
Not bad, and yourself?
Well, a little curious why the FBI are at my place.
You may have heard there was a bit of a disturbance not far down the road from here. I was curious if perhaps any of you knew anything about it or might have heard anything.
Pretty quiet neighborhood, and the music's pretty loud in here. Don't tend to notice what's going on in the outside world till I leave. When was this? What night?
Well,
It was tonight.
yeah, it's tonight, not much more than what was it? An hour or so ago, 2 hours,
About 3 hours ago.
three, 2, 3 hours ago.
No, I was here.
You were here, but you didn't happen to see anything strange.
I mean, you see a whole lot of strange here, buddy.
I'm sure you do. I am sure you do, my good man. I'll be honest with you. I'm open to suggestions.
Okay. That's fine. It's fine. Uh, First off, you can try to get a psychic impression of him or the place. Um, I should have mentioned this. In the package you received, there was a large manila envelope. Inside were a number of warrants, basically blank checks. This is absolutely not how government or law works. Um, but basically an excuse for you to go places and investigate things.
Now, my psychic ability it is hinged upon physical contact.
For more specific impressions, yes, but you can sort of the more you focus on one thing, the clearer the impression. The farther you
I
spread
mean,
it out and the more ambiguous it is, the more ambiguous the answer.
if I were to clap him upon the shoulder and offer to buy him a drink, they'd do anything for me.
That is contact. That's a chance.
Well, then, my good man, perhaps I can buy you a drink.
You slap him on the shoulder and let's roll. You see flashes and it's confusing. You're not picking up one person. You're picking up two consciousnesses. Conscious eye? Consciousy?
Conscious sights, conscious
Consciousnesses?
seas.
Uh there's a duality of thought, a combination of confusion and ambition and a ravenous lust. As two separate lines of desire and personality. You feel a weird sense of entwining limbs and lips all over. He's laughing as you flash back to reality. Well, I own all the drinks in the bar. How about I buy you one on the house?
How far be it
Serious?
for me to turn that down?
Set him up. Look, agent, I'm happy to support the law in any way I can, but I don't think we can be of any help to you.
Now, I can use these warrants just pretty much as I please.
Yep.
Well,
You have a few of them.
okay.
It's complicated, but effectively they are so roundabout in their bureaucratic confusion that they will buy you enough time to actually procure a real one.
So I was to say, take a look around, see what I could find in the premises, just to satisfy my own curiosity.
Well, no offense, agent, but as you're here in an official capacity, I would have to see a warrant.
Well, ain't that just the damnedest thing? Reach into my coat pocket, slide it across the bar top.
He opens it. He's looking around kind of confused. I it Look, why are you investigating here? There's nothing relating to what you're talking about.
Call it a hunch. It is something about this place. I don't know what it is, but it has piqued my curiosity.
Do what you gotta do. Just try not to disturb our customers.
I much appreciate it. All right.
Where you wanna go?
Well, trying to think where we could go in there that would be the most helpful for what I'm looking for.
Well, you've got the elevator upstairs. You've got the back door. Again, it appears damaged. And you've got the stairs going down into a VIP area.
Well, the first place I want to check is that back door.
You go back and take a look at the door. It appears to have been dented inward, like at the frame.
Something was coming in and not going out
Possibly. But the impact would have happened from the other side.
from the outside.
You would guess so. Looking at the cracks in the wall, it kind of looks like that's like it would have been an impact from the outside as opposed to a pull from within.
Right.
The door opens inward.
No, no. Is it just a sort of a concrete or asphalt in the back?
It looks like brickwork on the outside.
No, I mean on the
But
floor, on the ground.
Oh, there's that whatever it was, it's been swept up.
It's been swept up.
There is no sign of any kind of debris on the floor, but there is damage on the wall, and the door and its frame have been dented inward. It's a metal
Where
door.
there should be debris upon the floor. Well, that only raises my curiosity, does it not?
Hmm. Looks like the door should still open.
Yeah. Now, of course, I'm assuming I opened the door and
That's up
took
to
a
you.
peek outside.
All right. Stepping outside, you can see that this is sort of a parking lot, a little bit like a small one. With the buildings back there, this is a spot where places can load and unload product. It's fire escapes, a few surrounding apartment buildings, nothing too tall. Um, Looking to your left, you can see that there is a car parked all the way to the end. There's like maybe 3, 4 parking spaces back here. There's one all the way over there. But then more immediately, the wall just next to the door, it's a brick facade, red brick. It has been bashed inward, like something crashed into it, cracking bricks and leaving a crater.
Well, I have some questions, but
Hit me.
no, not for you.
Oh, I would
But
recommend gathering as much evidence as possible
oh, that is
before.
that
Yeah.
is the plan. My next stop would be the elevator.
Mm. Do you want to investigate the crater or the back here anymore, or?
Oh, I assume you told me everything I needed to know about it, but no, let's take a
Oh,
look.
I'm always open to more questions and creativity and detective work.
Well, let us take a look.
All right.
What else?
So, the crater itself is it's
Would you say it is werewolf size?
yes, I would. Since you're cutting right to the chase, yes, it is roughly the size of a werewolf. It is about the width of those big ass shoulders you've seen. It is too high and too round to have been a car impact. What's more, you don't see any tire tracks or skids or anything like that that would indicate the kind of, it would take velocity and a skidding turn to do that with a car. And the car would have had to been about 3 feet higher than normal to impact at that point.
The ballistics don't work out. The
No,
werewolf ballistics do not work out.
no, there is no magic cannonball here to make this
Mm.
happen. That is just not a is not an option. But yeah, if you were gonna guess something roughly the size of a werewolf with rough werewolf strength rammed into this wall hard.
Now, is there any way I could sort of, I don't know, figure out how long ago this might have happened? Or just a rough estimate.
Mm,
Or
it's
have they
tough with
cleaned it up in the past 3 hours?
it's no, you wouldn't say they've cleaned it up. But I'll roll your investigation. Um, it's not without like forensic analysis, there's a lot of things about this that are hard to tell. But sure, this probably happened in the past 3 hours.
Okay. Is there anything else of note out there that I should know about?
Uh, no. I mean, there's a couple of lights on in some of the buildings, but there's nothing that immediately takes your interest, no.
Okay. Well, in that case, I do want to venture back on inside.
All right.
Perhaps, maybe, were there any cameras out back?
No.
Surveillance camera looking down into the parking lot.
Not from where you can see if there are any.
That just makes me curious. I, I would like to go upstairs, take a look, and see if I could find anything there. Perhaps maybe
All right.
there is a room for surveillance.
As you push the call button for the elevator, the owner stands up, walks over. Excuse me, agent. There's nothing up there but my place.
I understand that, but I do believe in being thorough, so in my
Well,
investigation.
doesn't this doesn't this incredibly confusing document say that you just get to search the club?
This is attached to the club, sir.
Fuck's sake.
I'm
Fine, then.
allowed to. I'm allowed to investigate the premises, and I'm afraid your apartment is upon the premises.
Okay. All right. I'll show you up myself.
Absolutely. Thank
Steps
you
into
very much.
steps into the elevator. It is fancy.
Mm.
It's again, sleek, like black polished surfaces with white marble, gold trim. It's like 80s meets early 2000s. You know, that kind of exceptionally irritating aspect.
Mm.
All right. Upstairs. The elevator opens up into a wow, this place is a Spartan bachelor pad. Again, the monochromatics. All of the lighting is soft and off, like that. Uh, Nothing glares directly at you. Furniture that is black leather held up by chrome pipe. It's you can picture this. I know you can.
Hmm.
You've been in this douchebag's place before. Um, so there's a living room to the right. You can see the windows for the that look down on the back. There is a balcony back there. Um, to the left, there is a doorway leading to a kitchen, a hallway curling around to behind, and a small dining room on your left.
Down that hall, are there any other doors that I should know about?
You walk around, look down, you can see th- three doors. No, four doors, sorry. Two on
Four.
the right, one at the end, one on the left.
There any light coming out from under any of them?
All the doors appear to be open. There is no light coming out of any of them.
Okay. They're open. Anything of interest within those doors?
First door is on the right. It's a bathroom.
It's a
It's a bath.
bathroom.
It's a bathroom.
That is
Uh,
definitely not what I'm looking for.
bro's got a jacuzzi for what it's worth.
Of course he does.
Of course he does. Um, let's see. Next door on the right leads to a bedroom. This room is in a certain amount of disarray. Uh, it does kind of look like things have been thrown around. The sheets are torn all over the damn place, and the floor looks vaguely oily.
You say the sheets were torn or thrown?
Thrown.
Uh,
They're all over the damn place.
torn would be a very different set of circumstances.
It's all silk and satin in here.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah. Factor in the oily sheen on the floor, the occasional puddle of, I don't know,
Something.
baby oil.
Yes, yes. Like my using my olfactory senses. Is there any? Do I smell anything? Not off, because obviously something is off in his general lifestyle. But anything that would raise my curiosity.
It smells strongly of sex, like peculiarly strong. Like if you've ever gone in a room after two people got it on, you'd be like, "Yep, somebody got laid." But
Yep.
it's not like Holy crap. Like,
Okay.
what the hell? And this isn't like a stink, it's just potent, like pheromonal.
So this is almost animalistic,
I
what
would
you are
say that's
telling me.
accurate. Aside from that, you can smell like the peach body oil scent of
Whatever he was using that evening,
apparently.
that'll probably it for me to judge.
If not you, then who?
Yeah, he is behind me, I'm assuming, or at least at my side.
Mhm.
Mhm. I
Consistently letting out
like
small
that.
complaints. That was a waste of time. It's an
Seems
invasion
like you
party.
had quite a morning.
Every morning, every night.
Morning, every night. I'll be damned. When would you say you and your, we'll call them a partner, when did they vacate?
Hour ago.
An hour ago. And neither of you, you said not, you had not heard anything amiss.
Well, I was occupied.
Of course you were. Of course you were. I do have one question. Your back door downstairs. Now, there seemed to be quite a bit of damage there. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm an expert in these manner of ballistics, but I am left at loss as to how that might have happened. If you could enlighten me some.
Well, you're the detective. I figured you could tell me. I was in the club when it happened. By the time I went out there, no idea.
No idea.
If at any point you would like to try to tell if he is lying, we can roll your empathy.
I am rolling empathy at the moment. Please do.
He's a cool customer, but he's not telling you everything.
So why don't we just stop beating around the bush and you tell me everything you know.
Everything I know.
Everything you know about, well, not everything you know. I don't need to know exactly what went on in this room, but what went on outside. Do you have any sort of cameras or
No, I don't.
any manner of security?
I value this privacy of my guests.
Does your guest privacy need to extend to the outdoors?
The parking lot, yeah.
Parking lot. Interesting. Interesting. I simply don't understand uh, how you could take such severe damage. I mean, it looks like a goddamn crater hits your building, and you don't seem to know anything about it.
I didn't have anything to do with it being made, and by the time I got out there, there was nothing to find. Just
There
one
was
of those
nothing.
things. Maybe it was aliens. I don't know.
Maybe it was aliens. Perhaps you could tell me if you have any idea. Now you just told me what you.
I don't know. Maybe a car hit the building. If they
No,
did, they drove
no
off.
car made that unless they're driving a goddamn monster truck. That did not happen.
Look, when I saw it, you know what my thought was? What's it going to cost? And then I thought, insurance. That's why we pay it. Then I got back to my business.
I'm open to suggestions at this point.
Uh, I can't always tell when it's your character talking and you
Yeah,
asking.
no,
Uh,
I will lose the damn accent. I'm trying to stay in it.
I hear you. I hear you. Well, there are still more rooms to explore. There is still the basement. There's more people you could talk to. Uh,
I don't know how to bring up the fact that his room smells like he just got done fucking a goat.
uh, certainly nothing you couldn't come up with a perfectly plausible excuse to.
Yes, indeed.
That's the real trick. You've got to catch them in
Now there
something they
is,
can't explain.
yeah, there is nothing else up here that I should know about. Well, especially in that room. Wasn't there a remaining doorway that was open?
There is a door that is closed at the end of the hallway, just to your left. And just across from this one, there's another door open to what looks like a small office.
Yeah, take a peek in the office first.
There are a number of cables for a computer, but no computer sitting on a desk. There is a picture of an Italian woman. You'd say she's probably in her 40s, sitting on a shelf.
Now these were cables for a computer, like a laptop.
Hmm.
Okay, not like someone just took the monitor and the desktop off.
You
Oh,
would
that
guess a
makes sense.
laptop. Yeah. Um, there's a couple of filing cabinets and a painting ever so slightly off kilter.
You said the painting was just off kilter.
Hmm.
Nothing else odd about it.
I mean, not at a glance.
Well, I mean, should I approach it and take a look? With is there anything else?
There's a wall
Am I-
safe behind it. There's a wall safe.
Pardon me. What is in this safe? So,
Money and books for the business.
looks for the business. Would you mind if I took a peek?
I would.
So please open the safe.
Look, the only reason you'd need to look in there is if you're going to audit me. And your little badge says FBI, not IRS. Had enough of that trouble lately. Things are clean, things are fine, and there is cash in there. And forgive me, but I know how it works with clubs. Cop comes in, sees green laying around, and says, "What are you going to do? Call the cops?" And then takes it.
I have no interest in your money, so
Oh, then you have no interest in the contents of that safe.
there's
Because if
nothing
I
else
open,
in there I should know about. Is that what you are
no,
telling me?
unless you plan to go through my books or steal my money, no, there isn't.
Very well. And that door out in the hallway. So what is that door?
He goes out and opens it. You see there's like a vacuum and cleaning supplies. A surprising number of industrial trash bags.
Well, it is a club, and this gentleman's lifestyle does kind of lead me to believe that perhaps these are very necessary.
Luxury sheets goes through them like candy.
Anything else curious that I could see as I'm kind of taking a look?
Uh, the computer is missing. Aside from
Oh,
that, nothing jumps out at you.
before I even talk about the computer, I suppose there's nothing else up here that I should be concerned with.
Not that I can think of, officer. You walked into an innocent enough business, at least as far as the law goes. Think you're wasting your time here.
Maybe, but I would still like to take a look around in your basement if you would not mind.
The basement. Look, I can't stop you, okay? But I would
Well,
ask, but I would ask, please, could you refrain from harassing my clients?
I am not here to harass your clientele, sir. I am here to investigate a possible disturbance.
Fine.
I am required by law to be thorough. I am not here to give your clientele any sort of trouble. Now, if you would please show me to your basement.
Fine. Follow me. Back down the elevator and down the VIP. This, there we go. Heading down these steps, you find yourself in a black wood floor, black wood paneling, only red lights shining off the gleam of the lacquer of the wood, and there are 6 doors. It is sort of a T-junction hallway. At the end of the hallway coming down the steps, you see doors to the restrooms. On the left hallway, you see doors on the right-hand side labeled 1, 2, 3. On the right, you see 3 more, 4, 5, 6.
Sir, if you wouldn't mind telling me what all goes on down here.
Private rooms.
Private rooms. Any ideas you could, I don't know, give me as to what sort of things go on in these private rooms?
Nothing illegal.
Nothing illegal. So you speaking a lot of vagueness, and frankly, I am just trying to get a straight answer. What manner of goings on happen down here?
I assume people come down here to get drunk and fuck. And if it just so happens that I happen to have a talented masseuse on the premises, maybe they get a massage.
Mhm.
If I have a therapist on the premises, maybe they get talked through something. If somebody wants to pursue pleasure, you got a weird quake in your soul when he said that, then they pursue it. But I have all the appropriate permits.
Permits.
But once they go in the room, it's not my business. They rented the time. I'm not going to put a camera in there and compromise.
No, absolutely
I'm
not.
not a creep.
No, I would never accuse you of that, sir. Of course not. Now, is there anything else in this area that I can see that isn't?
From here, no.
Well, I would like to keep exploring down the hall
Well,
and
at this point, he can't stop you.
go door to door, seeing if there is anything. Well, I mean, are there people in there at the moment?
Uh, you open
I'm
door number
assuming
one.
they're locked if they're in there.
It's you open door number one, and inside you can see that there is like a a dentist chair, and there is a man leaning against the wall, flipping through a magazine. The room is full of mirrors. He's wearing he's dressed basically like a doctor. Very fit guy. He looks up at you, closes. I don't think we had an appointment.
We do not, sir. Other than him, I don't really see much curious about this other than just weird shit.
As you step out of the room,
Mhm.
you can see that a somewhat like tall, I mean, androgynous figure, like skewing feminine, but definitely androgynous, bald, dark skin, wearing like a black blazer, black slacks, black shoes, white shirt, unbuttoned about halfway, uh, sort of having a heated discussion with the owner, whose name you still haven't picked up.
So, can I hear what they're saying at all from where I'm standing, or do I need to approach?
You'd have to get a bit closer.
Okay. Uh, that
Look,
is perfect.
you've got good business going on here. Come on. No, this place has gotten weird enough, and I'm done with it. I want my last check. You can just mail it to me. I'm gonna pick up my things, and I'm leaving. Good luck to you, Billy. And they start walking towards room 6. Looks at you. Can I help you?
Employee troubles?
Not anymore.
May I speak to your employee?
Seems you can do whatever you want.
I approach her, or they, them, as it were.
Stepping over to room number 6. Uh, there's like a four-poster bed. Everything's black lacquer wood in here as well. There are mirrors. Uh, there is a tray of what appear to be very high class, like whips and chains and stuff like that, and clamps and handcuffs. The figure is putting them into a bag. Look, sees you in one of the mirrors. I'm not taking clients anymore. Not here anyway.
My dear, I am not a client. I am with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And would you mind if I asked you a few questions?
This is becoming a habit.
A habit.
Mhm.
You've been questioned before,
About 3 hours ago.
3 hours ago. You wouldn't be able to tell me what happened outside. There seemed
Why
to be
don't
a very serious damage to the facade of the building in the back.
why don't you tell me exactly who you are first? I'm assuming police.
FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, man.
Well, we're just collecting alphabets, aren't we? IRS, FBI, and
Were
it's
you, were
not
you questioned by the IRS before? What were you?
it's it's not ma'am, if you please.
I apologize.
Thank you. No, an IRS agent was here. Mm, can't recall her name.
An IRS agent was here. Uh, would you be able to describe this agent?
Shorter than you and me, blonde, abrasive.
Very interesting. I'll have to look into that. uh, now, pardon me, you have thrown me for a loop. Uh, eh,
You
do you
knew her.
know? I'm sorry.
You know her
I believe that I do.
personally.
You could say that.
She leans I'm sorry, they lean back against the wall. I'm gonna say dating, not terribly long, but it's been a passionate affair. You just broke up or separated.
You should be a detective, good lord.
I'm a psychologist.
You wouldn't be able to tell me where she went. Oh,
I don't
the
know.
last time you saw her, where she headed.
She was going back upstairs. I was just finishing my shift. I only came back to say I've had enough of this place. Last time I saw her, she was going right back in here,
In this room.
into the club. I was outside. If she came back to this room, I'm not aware of it.
Interesting. I have a question about the. We spoke about the outside. Now, is there anything you know about that? The incident
No, that wasn't there when I left.
that wasn't him who left. And I'm sorry, when was this? That approximately when was this that you left?
A little over 3 hours ago.
Now, is there anything, pardon me, anything else you might tell me that could shed some light on this?
About the wall? No
About the
idea.
wall, perhaps about your employer, former employer, as it were.
Something's off about Billy. He's not my client, and I'm not a licensed psychologist yet. But I would say he has some kind of dissociative personality disorder. He seems to forget what he's done sometimes, slips into an almost fugue state where he acts like a completely different person and then doesn't seem to recall any of the specifics about what took place. I'd say half the time he means well, and the other half too well, to a dangerous extent. He's a hedonist.
I was
I
trying to
believe the
tell.
I believe the modern parlance would put him into a beta trying to play the alpha. Personally, I find those concepts incredibly reductive and restrictive and inaccurate.
Would you? Do you believe that he spoke to the agent who was here?
I'm sure he did.
You are sure he did.
Well, Billy's the one who hands out the keys to these rooms. She
Beyond that,
happened she happened to come into mine.
45.
4 to 5 minutes.
And we're back.
And we
Yeah,
Billy hands out the keys. She happened to come into mine.
I think that that will be all.
They keep loading the stuff into a bag, walk back out into the hallway with it slung over their shoulder.
Is Billy still out in the hall?
He is. He's kind of like sulking by the door, arms crossed, looking all. They say, I expect that you'll send a check. Why don't I just give you cash right now? Whatever. Reaches in his back pocket and pulls out a wad of bills in a fold, flips them out. She snaps it away from him. See you around 6. Think I'm 7 now. Goes up the stairs.
Your former employee mentioned that there was an IRS agent here about 3 or so hours ago.
I don't know anything about that.
You you don't know anything about that because, as I understand it, You are the fellow who hands out the keys to these rooms.
Look, if they turned out to be working for the IRS, I never heard about it. As for the rest, I mean, what, you want me to give the identities of my clients away? I can't do that. You're gonna need
I'm
better
just
than a
asking
warrant
if
for
you
that.
spoke to her,
Her. Who?
the IRS agent.
I don't know which one of my clients might have been this IRS agent you're talking about. We get more than a few women in here.
Occupant of room number 6, the what?
Uh, Short, blonde.
Blonde.
Yeah. Let me give you a quick empathy check on here. There is definitely a tinge of frustration at work here. Like, he remembers her. Yeah, she got room 6.
Got room 6. Is there anything else you could tell me about your conversation? Or
Nothing I could talk about.
there doesn't seem to be a lot that you can talk about. You cannot tell me how a crater got into your wall,
I
yet
can't.
nothing curious happened, according to you.
Something curious clearly happened. I just don't have an answer for you. Look, you ask me about shit I didn't see. I didn't see shit. I can't tell you what I don't know. And when it comes to my clients, I can't tell you that's professional suicide. And anyway, it's unethical.
See, that is a very real concern for you.
I don't think that there's anything wrong in people being able to indulge their curiosities, pursue their pleasures. He says that word, and again, it's like it vibrates your chest. People should be able to do whatever the hell they want. And I merely provide a venue where they can get away from it all and in safe, luxurious surroundings engage in what exploration of themselves they want to do. I don't think that's immoral. I don't have a puritanical view of things.
I don't think I'm getting anything more out of this guy.
Not with this method, no.
No. I don't feel like jumping right into beating the shit out of him, but
I mean, it's an option, but it's a sketch one.
that's a very sketch one.
When all else fails, remember your mission parameters. Your job is to scout the area and report anything suspicious. Your job is not to go in, find the monster, and kill it. Not this time. But you have been given the tools to defend yourself if the monster jumps at you, assuming you can spot the monster.
Got me at a loss. Um,
You could take a second, or you could roll your common sense.
that's an option. I'm going to try that. Just
All right.
running out of ideas.
That's fine. That's fine. You're doing very well, man. For your first Chronicles game, you're doing great. Okay. You can ask me a general question. Are you wasting your time here? Is there a false lead? Can I get a clue where I'm supposed to go?
Because I know I'm not wasting my time here. There's something fucked up going on, but it's just I don't know how to get to it.
Um, and you're asking for a clue? A little bit of guidance?
I'll bet.
Okay. I would say Billy is definitely a part of something sinister and potentially supernatural. I will put together a couple pieces for you. 6 mentioned that there was a kind of disassociative effect with Billy. Um, some of the smells you've been catching in this place seem more focused than they should be. The quake that you get from some of the things that he say, they seem to affect you on a psychic level. And the when you clapped him on the shoulder, you got that weird like kaleidoscope orgy feeling. The question is, do you think he is something more than a regular person?
Absolutely. Because you,
Do do you want to Well, go ahead.
no, well, because no, because clapping my hand on his shoulder, like almost said, there's more going on in there than just one.
So the question is, do you want to pursue that yourself, or do you just want to mark him as a person of interest and move on?
I think at this point, this is all I'm going to get out of him today.
Mhm.
So mark him as a person of interest and move on.
Okay, that's fine. In that case, you don't really have to press him any further unless you want to try to figure out more with the context of your ability to understand it.
Yeah, I think at this point it's best to move on because I do feel kind of like beating the tar out of him. So perhaps it's best to
Assuming
walk
you
and let
can.
cooler heads prevail. Well, I
You're a
always
badass, but
assume the best.
if you're a badass, but if there's something, woo about him, who knows what he could do.
Mhm. That's also why I'm not going to
All right, then what's your move?
tell him not to go far. I will be back at some point.
You'll know where to find me, agent.
But I take my leave of this place, this den of iniquity.
Oh, oh, gracious me. All right, let's see. As you step out of the club, you hear the distant sound of howling wolves. And there's something like a peal of thunder that crackles across the sky. And yet, you're pretty sure that's not thunder. You're pretty sure nobody heard it but you, and maybe people sensitive like you. But it blanks everything for a second, and you find yourself like when you open your eyes, you're on your knees. The sound is coming from the east, back the way you came and toward Multnomah.
Falls.
And the echo of it is like a scar in sound. You can follow it.
Blowing it. Yeah.
Just start running.
Oh, yeah.
All right. You're in good shape. So you are just booking. It You can feel the scent of ancient rotted leaves and animal spore. The echo of wind so fierce that it scars the sound of the world. You run past traffic, you run down a path. This is surprisingly long, but you are motivated. You get to the entrance, you get along the sort of drive into Multnomah, and there's a motley group of people walking past you. One of them looks like he's been beaten up pretty bad and is soaking wet. The others have put some jackets around him while he shivers. They all have a somewhat sulky disposition. Do you stop to investigate or do you just keep running?
I would stop to investigate. Just ask them where they're coming from.
Right. As you start to approach them, one of them looks up at you, and it's almost like his eyes yellow slightly for a second. Almost. And he Do you wish to keep investigating him?
Point, I don't think so. Just take a step back, let him keep walking, but follow. He's
Follow
going in the
them?
same direction I am, correct?
They're walking away from whatever you're running toward.
I'm gonna keep headed toward it.
Okay,
What? Yeah, keep headed forward because
that's fine.
getting yellow eyes and growls and yeah, I don't feel like pressing that fellow.
You've seen Artemis do that.
Mm-hmm.
You
That just
keep
tells
running.
me I'm on the right track.
You keep running. You come to a parking lot. It has a view of the falls. To the right is a visitor center. All the lights are off. There are no cars parked in the lot. Place looks abandoned. Looking up, you can see that the swirl of clouds in the sky does seem to have an epicenter above where you are, but it's dissipating now. It's as though all the winds joined here for a moment and then passed along. The gravel under your feet looks very disturbed.
But that's it.
Let's get an investigation roll.
Want to take a
Oh,
look around?
re-rolling those tens. Hot dog. Okay. Um, you have there are big wolfy paw prints here. Some of them the size of a wolf, some of them the size of a wolf if it was also the Hulk. And from the way that they're distributed, I mean, you're kind of Prince Humperdinking this. There was a mighty duel. You can see it looks like there was a fight or a dance or something. It went that way into the woods, and then it went that way through the parking lot, and then it vanishes at the railing before the falls.
And then there's just the falls. Correct.
There's the pool that it falls into, and the falls is across the way.
So that's where that trail ends, probably.
Mm, There is a wilderness trail, but as far as the combat goes, yes.
Seems like it's probably kind of a waste of time to go down and take a look along the shoreline, see if there's any place where whatever might have fallen down came out. But
Is it a waste of time to look for the woman that you love who is a werewolf who clearly was involved in some kind of altercation here and
there's falls, and I feel like there's a lot of ground to cover.
yes. Your fiance is somewhere down there, but it's a lot of work.
There's a lot of ground cover. She's
No,
fine.
it's okay.
Fine.
It's true. You know she can take care of herself, arguably better than you can. In fact, it's not an argument, it's a fact. Um, at the same time, you did also promise that you wouldn't follow her, which means this may be mission accomplished for you, as unsatisfying as that may feel.
You think, I still have a job.
You do. Your
So
job
that
was
was
to
big.
find out, is it werewolves, and to spot any other supernatural influences so that they can be observed and potentially tagged and taken down.
Which I have found, but there's more. There's more to know.
No, there will always be more to know. But
Well,
for a preliminary scout mission, you've picked out some places and some people.
I'm going beyond my purview, and I think I will scout the shoreline.
Heading down, you can see that there are some bloodstains on the side of the rock. But aside from that, once you get down to the water, there's just no way to know what's up. There's nothing for churning away evidence like a waterfall.
Hmm. Well, there are no footprints leading off into the. All right.
No, nothing like that.
So
Just the
either that got washed away or they just continued on down the falls.
There is still the psychic resonance of whatever just happened here.
Sir, can I tap into that with the
Yes.
the bloody rock?
Uh, with the blood, you feel a sense of impact. You get the impression that it's muscles and fur and rage.
Is there anything familiar about that? Blood and fur and rage.
Vaguely, in a way. Back up at the do you wanna scan everything, basically?
Pretty much, yeah.
The falls have an almost numbing effect on your abilities, but that's directly the waterfall and the pool itself. Everything else is fair game. Uh, the parking lot is what takes up your attention. They're the last residual echoes of something that grates across your skin like thorns, something green and rotting, something old and evil, something wicked. This way came, and you still hear it. It's like an echo, like somebody called it out a long way away, and it echoes through a canyon, and you're picking up the last whispers of it. But the words are, "We had a deal." Now you feel like you've gotten everything you can get from this area, unless you want to start banging on doors and stuff.
No, no, that's yeah. That voice though, was there like is it familiar? Is it
No.
anything about it? It's just a voice.
It is barely a voice. It's practically a growl, and it doesn't feel human. You don't know what it is, but that's not people. It feels big. It feels bad. So, back to your hotel room to write out your report.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Okay. So, After action report time. Now, if you feel up to it, we can straight up like end of an episode Kolchak this shit. Which if you're up to it, that's awesome. But if you're not feeling that yet or ever, that's fine. And I can just walk you through a couple of the details and how you want to fill them out.
Yeah, I think that's gonna for this one at least. That's gonna be a good one.
Absolutely. First off, did you figure out what caused the accident?
Yes, some
What
matter
caused
of
the
werewolf.
werewolves? Do you want to alert Task Force Valkyrie to the presence of werewolves in this area?
Not just yet. I feel like that could put Artemis in a little bit of danger.
Mm.
Not really ready to do that.
You did promise you wouldn't follow her, but you also said you would help her if you could. I definitely think you're keeping your word on this.
Oh yeah.
Second, uh, what supernatural entities did you find?
Other than the werewolf, I'm not sure what the hell he is.
But you're pretty sure he's something unnatural.
He's something. I just don't know what. I
If you're
have to
not
put a
put
name to it.
if you're not putting the werewolves in your report, are you putting him in instead?
With a question mark.
Do you have any idea what he could be?
With my limited knowledge of the supernatural, uncertain. Just something's off.
Hazard a guess?
My limited knowledge, I have no idea.
Okay.
It's just he feels wrong.
Wrong in what way?
Like he's not at all what he appears at first glance.
Okay. Are there
Something
any
more than human.
Are there any details you would like observations you would like to include in your report that would help somebody else put the pieces together?
As I would put it, pretty much every curious thing about that establishment and how nobody seems to know much about this giant crater
So you would
and
list
nobody
that
wants to talk
there was some kind of damage that he can't explain. The
because he
duality of
won't explain.
the yes, they won't explain. The duality of thought, the smells, the weird psychic impressions. You want to include all that?
Oh, yes.
Okay. And do you want to uh do you recommend that they like bring him in or put him under observation?
Observation.
Okay. Now this is going to be a little bit of a mini game for you. Whenever an operation is completed at the end, your report is yours to fill out, which may damn or protect certain supernatural entities. And if you haven't put the pieces together, something out there may continue to roam free, or the wrong person may get taken down. So we got a little bit of Phoenix Wright mixed in with our chronicles. Uh, so yeah, and there will be possible rewards for the better you do your job, and who you spare and who you throw away. A few fun little factors to play with.
Okay.
So you leave werewolves out of the report entirely.
For the moment.
Okay. No observed werewolves, or vampires, or whatever else is out there. You said you said you'd tell me what I was fighting, but I'm here with more questions than answers. There's something wrong with this guy. Recommend observation. Uh, according to your phone as soon as you submit the report. Good work. And you get an address for a local hotel. Looks like there's a room waiting for you. You sit down. Whether you raid the minibar or not is up to you. But when you do try to sleep, the words echo in your head. We had a deal. And that, my friend, is session one for Task Force Valkyrie, for Valkyrie Files. So, any questions?
At the moment, no.
Okay, then. So we are closing this one up just a little bit early. I left some time at the end in case there was either a fight, which there could have been, and for anybody in the chat to feel free to ask us some quick questions. But I would say do it quickly. So, Dustin, thoughts, feelings? How we doing, buddy?
Good. A little nerve wracking, but good.
That's Chronicles for you,
Yeah.
and a new game. I think you did a great job.
Yeah.
This is gonna be fun. Ah. Next week, next week, another player will join the game, and we will have, as far as I know, our first Chronicles game on this channel with more than one player at a time. So you'll have to tune in 2 weeks to find out the next chapter of Valkyrie Case Files. Aside from that, please feel free to like, follow, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your mama, tell your ex, watch our shows, subscribe to our crap, post on our walls. Tell us what you'd like to see because we love to serve. Um, aside from that, what else? We'd like to thank everybody in this as ever. Heidi, Lindsay, Sarah, just everybody. It's just Erica, bless you. It's and all of you for being here and making this what it is. We're really looking forward to this new season while Ashley slash Artemis is off doing actual accountancy during tax season. She's not really role playing. She's absolutely a werewolf in real life. But yeah, we're looking forward to telling this alternative story. I hope that you will tune in for our other shows. We've got more Jerry at Twitch coming at you. We've got more Crit Chicks. We've got more Shop Talk coming. It's been a minute since we did that. Um, but yeah. So Dustin, welcome to the Tooth and Claw family. I'm hoping this goes for a nice long time. I think you're going to enjoy what I have in store for you.
Excellent.
If anybody's got any questions, last chance to ask. Otherwise, feel free to hit us up on Facebook or anywhere else. Just ask away. We have lots of fun. Maybe we'll have an AMA one of these days if there's enough demand. But beyond that, thank you so much for being here. Dustin, we give him a wave and we tell him we love him.
We love you guys.
Mwah.